You are listening to the Healing Migraines Naturally podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Leslie Caesar, and I'm helping women rediscover a migraine-free life. Today, I'm talking to Natalie, who's been working behind the scenes with me to make our Healing Migraines Naturally Retreat come to life. Welcome, Natalie. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share this with everyone.
I know you and I have been trying to make this retreat happen for about 3 years now.
We have. So it's really nice to see it actually being birthed this time. I think obviously with COVID, all our plans got a bit scuppered, which was, very devastating. But now it's really exciting that we were able to put this back on and actually make it happen.
Yeah, I would say, if my memory serves, starting back in 2018, women in our free Facebook group, Healing Migraines Naturally with Leslie Caesar ND, started asking, hey, Dr. Leslie, can we all get together for a long weekend? Can we have a retreat for just us women with chronic migraines? And it's really thanks to the community that this idea got set into motion.
It's so true, because they feel so alone often, I think, women who are going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, often you might not know someone in your immediate vicinity who's actually experiencing some of the symptoms and pain that you're going through. So it's actually, I loved when the question was asked, and I loved that, you're actually putting a place where all these women can come together and support each other and go through, healing together as well.
Yeah. So way back in, 2019, which seems like ancient Rome by this time now, you and I started looking at what would it take to make this happen. Mm-hmm. And we picked out what we think is the perfect location for this retreat, and was just going to sign the contract with the resort when everybody started locking down in March of 2020.
It was amazing timing, really, that it hadn't been signed. I think they would have had to refund anyway, but it was just like, it was almost like right before they were like, nope, hold on a minute, it's not for you right now. And it was devastating, because we'd put so much work into it and finding it. And, we'd announced it to the group and the community, and there was so much interest from women who were wanting, one, to go to this amazing place, which I'll let you talk about, but to actually to have this experience with you. So yeah, it was quite sad at the time to not be able to follow through with that.
Yeah. But now we are back, 2022. We have put the date on the books. It's going to be February 2023. So we are going to gather February 16th through the 19th. That's a Thursday through a Sunday in mid-February in beautiful Tucson, Arizona. And if you live where I live, going to Tucson, Arizona in February is just what the doctor ordered.
I can imagine. I'm in Scotland, and I think it would be just exactly what it's ordering for me, to be honest.
Exactly. So we are going to go to the beautiful Miraval Resort in Tucson, Arizona. So, Natalie, you actually found this resort when you were researching places. So what struck you about Miraval?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. Sometimes I organize events for various people, and when I do, I like to really research and find the perfect venue. And I swear there is nowhere more perfect for this experience, because as soon as you just have to look at the website, and you can just feel the energy. You can tell that it's a really healing place. It's one of those places that, for me, would be right at the top of my bucket list. Like, if I could go anywhere in the world at one point, I really want to experience Miraval. And it's the all-inclusivity of it. So, there's different experiences that you can have there. And I don't know, there's just this energy and this essence that I just feel like if you went there for a weekend, you're just going to come back a different person, which is what made this perfect for what you're trying to achieve. Because I think, obviously you're looking to create a transformational retreat for these women who have been suffering from migraines, and hopefully provide a lot of healing for them. And to have a place like Miraval where you are literally going to go in as one person, come out the other side, even without all of the amazing work that you're going to do with these women. It's, just the perfect location.
Yeah, I thought so too. I responded the same way when I saw it and saw everything that Miraval has to offer. And definitely, right, this is what I told you was my goal for the retreat, is that people would leave with a transformational experience. And this is my top priority for everyone who attends. Coming together, we have multiple aspects that we're going to work on during this retreat. So, one is building that sense of community and connection. Because, as you said, having chronic migraines, just the nature of the symptoms isolates us from our loved ones, from our work, from our life, literally. And
Yeah.
so, bringing women with chronic migraines together and helping build a feeling of connectedness and community. But then also, in part, this is truly my biggest goal for the weekend, is educating and inspiring and empowering the women who attend to go home and be able to make immediate changes that are going to improve their health and, as a result, improve their migraines. But not only that, improve the health of their family as well. Because as I've talked about on this podcast, the answer to chronic migraines is to restore our health. And that is a process that applies to everybody, right? And so when we know what to do to restore our health, we can also impart that to our family. And, is so often the case, right? What mama does, the rest of the family does too. And
Yeah.
so I'm really excited to be able to educate and inspire and help women learn and implement what they need to do to restore and maintain their health. And I can't wait to see what ripple effects that can have.
Yeah, exactly. I can feel that. As you said that, I got chills down my spine. Like, yes, exactly. There's ripple effects of, the knowledge that you'll impart during that weekend. And, it's also, to me, I feel like, having spent a lot of time, in your group and speaking to the clients that you work with, it's clear that they need to, well, it's just kind of like undoing some of the information that's been ingrained in them, and on how they think things should be, in terms of maybe the management of symptoms. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so I think this education just in terms of health, of things that they can do immediately, and even through that weekend, some of the things that they can actually do and take action on to be able to help them move forward in a different way is just super powerful. So hopefully there's many, many ripples in many directions.
Yeah, yeah. So the Miraval environment, it is in a beautiful location. I used to live in Phoenix and I would love to go down to Tucson. I love the Sonoran Desert, and the Sonoran Desert around Tucson is just spectacular. And so the beauty of the Tucson area is so inspiring and so just profound in its own way. And so I think the setting that we're going to be in is going to be very profound for people. The resort itself, I love how you said this was like a bucket list
Yes.
location. I cannot wait to go there. It truly is one of those bucket list resorts. And then the mission of Miraval itself is to promote healing.
Yeah.
And so we are going to take advantage of some of the program offerings that Miraval has right on site. So, you're not going to be locked in a room with me for 3 days, right? Just listening to me. We're going to have our sessions where I'm going to be teaching and empowering people. But then we are also going to be able to take advantage of some of the wonderful programs that Miraval puts on.
Yeah.
And one of those things is an amazing spa.
Who doesn't love a spa?
Exactly. So the retreat is going to include working with me, participating in their programs, and then also a spa treatment. So I'm super excited about this. And if people want to, we will also have plenty of time for relaxation. So just the grounds there, the pool there. If you want to purchase a second spa treatment for yourself, you're going to have plenty of time to do that as well.
Yeah, I love that. I looked at the site and just some of the amazing things that are on offer. And I'll make sure actually we have a PDF, so I'll make sure we get that added into the group just so that people can actually read into the Facebook group, so that people can read just some of the amazing things that are on offer, so that when you do have the downtime, the other things that are available to you through that. And whether it's just you just want to rest and do nothing, that's also okay. But there's just some amazing experiences for those that would want to take part in them.
Yeah. I think of this as sort of one part girls' weekend, one part luxury resort vacation, and one part transformation. So we're going to
Oh,
have some time dedicated to all three of those pieces because, like I say, I really am excited to get this community together, right? And so we're going to also be doing some things so that people can quickly and easily make connections with people. Probably most people are going to come by themselves. You can certainly bring a girlfriend with you. She doesn't have to suffer from migraines. Like I say, I'm going to structure this so that the information and education that I'm giving is going to be beneficial for anybody who wants to restore and maintain their health. So again, if you want to bring a girlfriend with you or sister or something like that, you certainly can. She doesn't have to be suffering from chronic migraines. But I'm anticipating that most people are probably going to go by themselves. And so I'm also building in some ways that people can sort of break the ice and so on. I know when I go to conferences by myself, I feel a little nervous. Like, okay, am I just going to be standing in a corner by myself because I don't know anybody? So I'm going to have some things that right out of the gate we can start to build those connections. And so if you're a little nervous to do something by yourself, don't worry, I got you. We're going to help you break the ice too.
I love that. It could be really fun actually to for those who are registered, to create a little space before the retreat where we can all get to know each other before it actually happens. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I am going to do that. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know if I actually mentioned this to you yet,
No.
but I am going to create an off Facebook private group
Yay.
for the people who are attending. So about a month before we gather, we're going to get into an off Facebook group. I have contracted with an application. It's similar to Facebook, but it is not mining your data and so on. It doesn't have some of the downsides that Facebook has, but it's very easy to use, like Facebook is easy to use, where you can get notifications on your phone and it's easy to interact with people like Facebook is without the data mining, right?
Yes.
So, about a month before we gather, we're going to get everybody in that group and just start kind of building the community ahead of time. And so, even if you're going by yourself, it's sort of a way of making some friends before you show up, which I always appreciate when I go to things like this.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's one of the key components which I'm excited about in terms of the retreat, because, like I said at the beginning, so many women who are going through this feel really alone. And it's hard to, it's really helpful, when you're going through a hard time, to have others who can relate to your situation. That's why it's so isolating, obviously, with migraines, because, for those who haven't experienced a migraine, it's very difficult for them to actually understand how debilitating they can be. And so to be surrounded by women who really get it is, changes the game, really.
Yeah, for sure. So, why don't I give a little bit more detail on what I'm planning on covering? Do you think that would be a good idea?
Yay. Yes, please. Yay.
So, if you've been following the podcast, I talk about the three principles that are required to restore and maintain our health, right? And this is, like I say, really the answer to the migraine problem, right? We are experiencing migraines because we are not in a state of health. And so the answer is to restore and then maintain our health. And then we're going to feel better. Our body is not going to generate these symptoms. And so there are three principles. There are three things that we have to do to restore and maintain our health. And so the first principle is we have to get the nutrients to every cell in the body. The second principle is we have to clear metabolic waste material. And the third principle is we have to restore our resiliency and vitality. So if people have been following the podcast or taken any of my free training, I talk about these three principles. So I am going to be educating people on topics within these three principles that they can go and implement even during the weekend, definitely when they get home. And so I'm going to be looking at once we have people registered and we have people in this community, I'm going to be doing some additional sort of information gathering. Where are people, where are people needing knowledge and guidance within these three principles, depending on who registers. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that we will probably have sort of two tracks. Okay. So I want to accommodate some people, right, are starting at a different a sort of starting line than other people. For example, I have a lot of clients that are interested in attending that have already worked with me and have already done a lot of work within these three principles. So looking at sort of who has registered, me doing some additional data gathering from you guys. Okay, where do you need help? Right. And so then I'm going to get it dialed in as to what we're going to be talking about within these three principles. So, and I anticipate we're probably going to have two tracks. Okay. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that well?
Yeah, no, and it's actually fascinating, you saying that in terms of, people who have worked with you already still wanting to sign up. And I think that says a lot about, the knowledge and the wisdom that you impart, and also just that importance of coming together, for them to understand that they've had a lot of knowledge and experience from you already, and they're still wanting to come and spend time in your energy. And it just feels like, that amazing opportunity for this intensive access to what you've got to share, regardless of where you are on your journey.
For sure. For sure. And, I'm still on my healing journey. I will be until the day I move on to the next realm here. Right.
Yeah.
So, there's no end to learning. That's for sure.
It's almost like you have, once you've got the taste for it, like you just want to, like, what else can I do? What else can I do? Because when you see the ripples or the impact of the changes that you're making actually have a difference in your life, then it really can inspire you to keep going.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So, like I say, I'm anticipating that this is where we'll land, that we'll probably have two tracks for people so that people are kind of getting the information that they need. Okay. Before I became a naturopathic doctor, I used to work in corporate training and development. So this is one of my lifelong passions, is just determining, what knowledge, skills, and attitudes do people need to make change in their life. I was working in this field before I became a naturopathic doctor. So I was very focused in my previous profession on figuring out, how to deliver actionable information that people can implement right away. So I'm not, this is not one of these weekends where it's just kind of pie in the sky type of stuff. Oh, that was inspiring, but what am I really going to do now that I get home? I'm really focused on absolutely inspiring people, but we need to also have actionable things that we can implement and that are going to have a positive impact on us. That's my top priority for everybody that attends.
Yeah, that's amazing. And going back to what you were talking about, I love that you've had that experience before, so that you're able to share the knowledge that you have in a way that actually is really easy to digest and receive and act upon. And it's not going to be one of those death by PowerPoints stuck in a room,
right?
Please no, no one needs that.
People get enough of that at work.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have a beautiful sort of dedicated conference room at the resort that we're going to gather in. And then the other thing that I'm super excited about is that Miraval is going to put on a private dinner for us.
Oh, wow.
On Saturday night. Yeah. Now, the food at Miraval, world renowned, right? So we're going to have a custom menu. We're going to have our own space on Saturday night for dinner, and we are going to have our private dinner. And then I'm going to do a movie screening a documentary movie made by a colleague and mentor of mine, Dr. Rick Kirchner, who is a New York Times best-selling author and the filmmaker on how healthcare became sick care.
Oh,
So we
wow.
are going to screen this amazing documentary on Saturday night after our group dinner. And Dr. Kirchner hopefully will be able to live stream in with us after dinner, and we're going to do a live Q&A with him.
Wow.
I need to coordinate the timing with him. I don't have that confirmed. If we don't do that, he's going to record a special introduction for us that we're going to play. But I'm really hoping that we can get him live streaming in and we can do a
Yeah.
Q&A with him. So this movie has had a tremendous impact on everybody who's watched it. I've shown it to many people over the years. This came out 2017. And so many people have watched it over the years, and it has had a real transformational impact on people to understand what the healthcare system was like before allopathic medicine sort of rooted out any alternatives for people.
Yes.
So this is going to be really, really amazing as well.
That's an incredible opportunity, and in you sharing that, it's also reminded me in talking about the community that you'll set up in advance. It's like even like Facebook kind of senses some of the information that you want that people need to know. So I love that people have got this opportunity to gain access to the things that maybe the medical system isn't sharing in the way that it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The traditional medical system. Yeah.
Yeah. And then outside of our sort of special dinner on Sunday, the other great thing about Miraval is that it's an all-inclusive resort. It's also a non-gratuity resort. So when you go there, you're not going to be, you're not going to have to tip people. You're not going to have to buy your meals. Everything is included: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, etc. So this is another reason why I think this is such a great location, because we can just go there and we don't have to worry about, here's my credit card. Do I have do I have, bills to tip people? It's just total inclusive immersion in the experience there. So we, in addition to our private dinner on Saturday, we are going to have some amazing meals there as
Stop! I'm
well.
drooling. I'm drooling.
I know. So that is the programming that I'm going to put together. And then, like I say, Miraval has some wonderful, wonderful programs as well. So those are going to be included. So each day we're going to be participating in one of the Miraval programs. And I have not, frankly, there are so many options that I'm still going through them as we record this. But I'm anticipating that we're going to have a class with one of their chefs around food preparation and, how to make that happen at home. And then also they have a sound bath.
Oh,
Um,
lovely.
yeah, exactly. So I want us to be able to participate in that. And then I'm kind of narrowing down the third one. There are so many great ones. I would like to have people have some input into what we do. I'm working out the timeline with Miraval as to when I need to sort of lock
Choose.
down exactly what we're doing for the programming. But if we can if I have the ability to have a sort of vote on what people are interested in, I want to be able to do that. But I can't confirm that because I'm still working with them on nailing down the timelines on when we need to pick the programming. But like I say, the programming that they have is really spectacular. So we're going to take advantage of that. And then everybody gets a spa treatment as
Oh.
well.
It just keeps making me like, oh.
Uh-huh.
Incredible. And the spa, I mean, honestly, if you look at the pictures, I don't think probably most people have ever been to a spa like it. It just looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah. So that's all included. And they also have just some of the other little details. If you fly into the Tucson airport, they'll pick you up from the airport and they'll drive you back to the airport too. So again, this is what I loved about the resort. It's like all inclusive, right? You don't really have to worry about anything. We're just going to be kind of nestled within this wonderful place.
Oh, I love that word nestled because, like, as you describe it, it's the total treat. It's like, come and you will be just taken care of. Like, you don't need to think, you don't need to act, you don't need to do, just, like arrive and everything will just be taken care of for you, which, I mean, that just sounds, I mean, I need that. Yes, please.
Right.
We mentioned a bit about the different activities that you can do in your own time if that's something that you wanted to explore. Many of the activities that they actually put on there are complimentary as well, so it's not like as you go there to access any of it you're going to have to spend more money on any of those things. There are many complimentary and amazing, quite frankly, experiences that you can do to do with wellness if that's what you want to focus on, or to do with just actually enjoyable activities. So it can be whatever you want to make it, really, in that sense.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to hang around the pool with some new friends, you can do that. If you want to hike on their property alone, you can do that. There are so many other amazing opportunities at the resort.
Yeah.
And, you and I are both moms.
Yes.
And, we women, whether we're mothers or not, right? We women, we have a tendency to put everybody else before us.
Absolutely.
Right? And we feel guilty if we're the one being pampered.
This is your permission. Yeah. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? It's brutal when that happens. But yeah, I think that this is your invitation to give permission to yourself to experience what you need and deserve.
Yes. Yes. And we deserve to get away for a long weekend and not have to think about anything, like you said, right? Just come in, let other people take care of everything, right?
Yes. Oh.
And connect and be a part of a community. And, I've gone to conferences and come away with legitimate friends, that have lasted through the years. And even if that doesn't happen, right, we deserve to just, like I say, if it's just sit by the pool by ourselves
Yes,
for a
exactly.
few hours, right? In addition to getting, some amazing education and inspiration and transformation that's going to impact our lives and the impact of our loved ones going forward.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about the itinerary that you've kind of created, because it's not intense. There's that freedom for solitude. That's the freedom for your own personal, oh, I'd love to try that or experience this thing, which I think is really important. So it's not intense, but it's like fully, immersive. So someone can just go and sink in. And you could hear my breath as I felt it. Like, it's just like you can breathe in all the goodness of it and walk away just more empowered, knowledgeable, stronger, and more connected. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think, Natalie? Did we cover everything? What else have we been working?
I think so. I think that's it. So we've got the dates. I guess it's just, how do people book? How do people claim their spot?
Yeah. So we are definitely anticipating that this is going to sell out. And I'm not just saying that. We have a limited capacity, and Miraval is not, they only have so many rooms. And then I can only work with up to 30 people. Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, I really want to connect with everybody. I really want to meet the needs of everybody that's there. And so I can't do that with more than 30 people.
Yeah.
So, given the interest that people have expressed for a long time now in this, we are anticipating that this is going to sell out, so to speak, or get totally booked. So, we're going to put a link to the page on my website with more information and how you can reserve your spot. Okay. Miraval needs the list of attendees by mid-December, about 2 months before we go there. Okay. So there is also sort of a time deadline with this too, because Miraval needs to know who's coming.
Yeah.
And so we will link to my website here in the show notes. And if you do have any questions, there is a sort of a contact form. I'm not going to put my email address out on the internet, but there is a contact form that you can complete on the page. And please, if you have any questions, please fill out that contact section and me or Natalie will get back to you. Okay. We do want to answer any questions that you have. Okay. Just to recap, this is open to women. You don't have to have migraines to come. Okay. So if you're listening and you don't actually have chronic migraines, or if you have migraines and you've got a girlfriend you want to bring along, absolutely, you can come. Okay. We are limiting this to women because we want to provide a space for women to gather and have that community with other women. And we do have some double occupancy rooms available as well. So we're anticipating that most people are going to want to have a single occupancy room. But again, if you're coming with a girlfriend or something like that, a sister, and you want to do a double occupancy room, please fill out that contact form so that we can get that information to you. Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because, also maybe some people, might want to choose to share a room because, well, they're going to have the opportunity to get connected with people in advance. And also maybe that helps with costs. If they're needing to keep costs down or whatever, then they get the opportunity to do that if they wanted to share. So yeah, we can definitely create kind of buddy groups for anyone who's in that situation who'd like to share a room.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, if you want to bring somebody with and the two of you want to share a room, or you want to be put on a list to be sort of matched with somebody to do a double occupancy room, complete the contact information on the website so that we can get that, kind of get that on the list. Because obviously Miraval is going to need to know who to pair you up with. And so we need to do a little bit behind the scenes to make that happen. So let us know if that's what you want to do and we'll get the ball rolling on that.
Perfect. I love that, because one of the questions that I was going to ask you as well was, do the women who are coming to this need to have specific symptoms or a specific type of migraine or, those type of things. But I love that you're kind of making it quite custom to the people who come along and where they're at, and making sure that each individual's kind of needs are met in terms of both the itinerary and the content that you're delivering.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why I want to keep it a smaller group. A lot of practitioners, when they do a retreat like this, they open it up to 100 or 200 people. Yeah. And when you do that, there's no way that you can meet the needs of that many people in sort of a semi-custom way, right? It's just sort of a rote program that everybody's going to have to go through when you have that many people. So Miraval is not that type of resort that's going to accommodate that many people. It's, it's much more intimate type resort anyway, right? This isn't like we're going to the Hyatt downtown,
Exactly.
And also, again, this is something that guides all of my work, is really meeting people where they're at and meeting people's needs. And so obviously I can't meet 30 people's individual needs, but by doing some work to understand who's attending and where people's needs are, I can kind of get that dialed in more.
Yes, absolutely.
For people with the different tracks.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well, thanks for joining me, Natalie. Anything else you want to add?
No, I thank you for doing this, because I think it's really important, and I'm so glad that we've managed to, make it a reality. So yeah.
2023, it's our year, right?
Meet all the women who are coming in. Yay!
I know.
Exactly.
All right. Well, very good. I will talk to you soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, wonderful. And thanks everybody for listening. And before you go, be sure to like this episode and subscribe to this podcast. And please, if you have somebody in your life who's suffering from chronic migraines, please share this information with them. Who could benefit from this information that we talked about today? Please share that on your social media or share it with your friends and loved ones who've been praying for this information. And if you want to stay connected with Mary and I, please join our free Facebook group. We have nearly 12,000 women who are rediscovering a migraine-free life naturally. You can go to Healing Migraines Naturally with Leslie Caesar, ND, in the search box on Facebook, or you can go to healingmigrainesnaturally.com and we will redirect you there.